Hello and welcome back to yet another episode. My name is Jerry and I am Mansion. In our last episode, we were able to discuss on the choices of color to consider when branding, and we had so much overwhelming support and feedback coming from different people, but we were able to pick up a few of them, and I'd like to address one of the questions that was asked by one of our followers on our social media pages. And the question is just how many colors is right or perfect for me to consider when branding or starting up a new business or rebranding an existing business. Often, most of the time, I will say if you're able to have a singular color or a monocolor for your brand, it is perfect. It is the best. If you're able to have two, equally fine and good enough. But if you start revamping 3, 4, 5, or even full colored logos for your brand, you need to start considering having a good budget for printing. Why so? Different modes of printing dictate just the amount of money you will spend on branding or when printing items for your brand. For example, case in point, screen printing. Screen printing uses a technology of screen by transferring ink into garments using different layers or levels of screen depending on the number of colors that you have. So if you have a single color for your brand, you are definitely going to need just one screen for you to be able to achieve your brand colors or whatever you're printing on your garment. If you have two, you translate two screens. So the more colors you have, up to a maximum of 4, you are able to multiply an equivalent of the same number of screens to be able to achieve the same effect or the same colors that you have or that you need to print for your brand or for your logo. Let's look at offset printing. Same case scenario. Single colors require single plates. 2 colors require 2 plates. The more plates you have, the costly it's gonna become for you when you are printing. So you're starting up, you don't want printing to become the next headache for your new business. You don't want printing to become too costly for you when you are beginning to push out your brand out there. So I always say have less colors. If you can have 1 or 2, those are perfect enough. 3, not so bad. But the lesser you could have colors for your brand, the cheaper it is going to be for you when it comes to printing. I want us to look at some of these companies or some of these big corporates that we have around us. Some of them have been able to match up their brand visibility using the most simple colors that you could ever think of. They have been able to maintain singular colors for their brand, meaning they spend very little on their printing, considering just the amount of work or the amount of printing that they have to always do on a regular basis. So if such brands are able to maintain very few colors for their brand, it means that they are able to save a lot and they are able to still remain relevant and visible in a business environment while not making people forget about them. So having many colors does not mean that people are going to remember you because of having a full colored logo. No. Consider some of these companies. They have maintained 2 colors for the longest time. And with 2 colors, they are able to really match up or to really monitor their expenditure when it comes to printing, and thus still remaining relevant into a demographic that it is saturated with so many upcoming businesses. But how do we still remain constantly having them in our minds and not forgetting who they are and the impact that they have in our society or in the business community? Recently, some of these logos or some of these companies have rebranded. And when you see a company rebranding from a single color to maintaining a single color, it is not that they may not have a budget of printing or they do not have a budget of branding. It is simply because they have looked at the implication of having multiple colors as opposed to having singular colors that remain constantly visible and remain constantly relevant into a competitive environment. So yes, go for fewer colors for your brand and you will save a lot of money for your next branding. Thank you so much. We look forward to interacting with you on the comment section. We'll be available to respond to as many as we can. Be sure to like this video, share, turn on your notification bell, and be sure to catch up with us on our next video. Until next time, bye-bye.